today. Ramirez defended his WBC crown in a controversial fight against the American. The fighters describe what happened.
In that first round, I still remember, hitting him with the hard jab and seeing how easy it was to hit him. And then I even did a little dipsy-do move and came back and hit him and scored on him. So I said, this is going to be an easy night. I'm going to be world champion when I step out of the ring. Fourth round, I broke my hand. And when I hit him on top of the head, I felt it right then. And I broke my hand before, so I felt that I knew the hand was broke. Round 5 was impressive. 6, I think they gave him 6. But they didn't really want to give him 6. They say Ramirez looked good. But all the rounds were close. If I didn't dominate him, they could have went either way. Round 7, I feel he won round 7. I feel, that's because I had got my first 6, and then I started coasting.
It appeared to this point that Whitaker was well ahead, despite hurting his hand, as he said in round 4. Pernell had used his speed and agility well, outboxing and outmaneuvering the slower champion early. But Ramirez was narrowing the gap as the fight wore on. Whitaker appeared to be taking a breather in the middle round as the champ poured forward and chased the American relentlessly. And on the scorecards, it was much closer than Pernell had figured, though Ramirez felt he was always in control.
It's much more difficult now when the other does not present himself to fight very easily. To keep him on the ropes, he's very elusive. I did everything possible, but I could not block his exits. Like you see him, he runs backwards, and when we're in an embrace, he holds me and sometimes grabs my hand.
Going into the final rounds, the title was up for grabs. And in the corner before the 12th and final round, trainer Lou Dubik ordered his fighter on.
Hey, want to be champion of the world, baby? We need this round 3 minutes, baby. You're the sexiest guy in the world. Now let me see you go out there and take this guy.
1 round to go, 3 minutes. I was thinking about this flight back at that moment, get my belt, and I'm out here. Give me the world title, and I'm going back to America and get this belt to my American people.
The fight was over, and as bedlam in the ring ensued, the controversy would soon begin, as Whitaker listened in stunned disbelief when he learned he lost.
My impression was that he called himself Rob, that he did nothing to win. He only fought to obtain a decision, nothing.
As hard as I trained for that fight, and have a blow served to me that way, it's deep. And when I went down, I just went down with the thought of maintain peace and represent your country.
The post-fight embrace was not important of things still to come. The finest year, Pernell Whitaker became the IBF lightweight champion by virtue of a unanimous decision victory over champ Greg Haugen, seen here being floored by Pernell in round 6. Then in his first title defense, Whitaker took on undefeated challenger Louis Lamelle. A left in round 3 effectively crushed the chances of the challenger, for even after he gamely arose, it was only a matter of time before Pernell put the finishing touches on a job well done. For Jose Luis Ramirez, his next fight saw his title slip away into the hands of fellow countryman Julio Cesar Chavez. Then, while training for today's rematch, his manager, trainer, father figure, and friend, Ramon Felix, who had guided him to 2 lightweight titles, drowned in a swimming accident. Jose was crushed, but since the funeral, he has vowed to win the title time in Ramon's memory. Alex, you have...
This is a main events monitor production. A 12-round of boxing for the World Lightweight Championship. And now, introducing the principals. Fighting out of the red corner from Culiacan, Mexico. He has an outstanding record of 102 wins, 82 by way of knockout with only 7 defeats. He weighed in at 134 pounds and will be wearing the red trunks with the white trim. Let's welcome to Norfolk the former 2-time world lightweight champion, Jose Luis Ramirez. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, representing representing his hometown of Norfolk, Virginia, he has 18 wins in 19 professional bouts. He weighed in at 134.75 pounds and is wearing the black trunks with the gold trim. Introducing the former Olympic gold medalist and Norfolk Stone, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
30 years of age, but really a very old 30 with those 109 professional bouts. The rules for today's fight will be the WBC rules. Scoring is on the 10-point must system. No 3 knockdown rule. No standing 8, and a fighter can be saved by the bell, but only in the final round. On the left, wearing the black trunks, Pernell Whitaker. On the right, Jose Luis Ramirez.
The man right there with his elbow on the rope there in the center of your screen. George Benton, the last thing he said to him when we looked at him was, keep your hands up. Ramirez's main weapon is power. When you have Pernell's speed of hand and feet, he can dance circles around him early. It's a matter of if he can sustain it.
And something you don't see very often, 2 southpaws fighting one another. It's not that often you see one southpaw in a fight, much less 2.
So in the old days, you never, it was really difficult for southpaws to get fights, and you never saw 2 of them. This is really almost started out in the 1960s, and in the 80s, it really is not that uncommon.
Pernell Whitaker in the first bout with Ramirez fought going backwards, gave a lot of ground, thought that was a mistake, changed his style for both Greg Haugen and Louis Lamelli, and you see Whitaker now staying right in the center of the ring and landing a couple solid blows on Ramirez.
Jose Luis Ramirez has been vulnerable early. When he's been hurt, generally it has been early.
And the good right jab there from Whitaker scores again. Oh, in combination, scores from Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker giving no ground, staying right in the middle of the ring. A low blow from Whitaker. The left came in and clearly under the belt. Again, the jab of Whitaker seems to be getting over Ramirez's glove.
Hi family, this is Scrapbookboxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. The reason why I decided to show you this fight, I was at this fight in the second row, and this is a master class performance by a master class boxer. I want you to pay close attention to what Pernell Whitaker is doing. And if you listen to my narration in a lot of the fights that I've showed you, the one thing you hear me tell you, on certain fighters, they have to snap the jab. I'm going to explain to you the reason why. If you look at the hands and the foot position of Ramirez, that's why Whitaker must snap the jab constantly. Ramirez's chin is over his right knee. He is vulnerable to the jab constantly because of his balance. Whitaker understands that. He does not need to throw the left hand. He throws it when Ramirez gets past the jab.
Clearly in command in round number 1.
Beautiful round by Pernell Whitaker.
It was not Ramirez's fault, but Pernell took the beating on the fight.
Now, when Thomas Hearns faced Sugar Ray Leonard in 1981, this is what he should have been doing. The only difference is he should have been jabbing, moving forward. He's the taller man with a stronger jab. Ray Leonard had no business fighting him back. His job was to make Ray Leonard move for 3, 4 to 5 rounds before he even decided to try and take him out with the right hand. As for Whitaker, his style is different. He is moving around Jose Luis Ramirez, as he should for his condition and his style of fighting. As he moves around, as he jabs and occupies Ramirez, he goes down to the body with the right hook, as he should. Then he'll mix it up and shoot a left hook. But everything is behind the jab. This is a page out of Sugar Ray Robinson's performance.
That's not going to be a knockdown. That's a slip. You saw Evander Holyfield, Mark Breland there in the insert.
Now you saw Evander Holyfield, Meldrick Taylor, and you saw Mark Breland, as well as Eddie the Boy Wonder Hopkins. I'm sitting right next to these guys. This is what we were talking about the entire time. Whitaker sees everything Ramirez is doing because he's making Ramirez make certain moves. It's a chess match. And he's anticipating the move that will be made based on what he's causing him to do. That's why he's prepared for the next punch. Beautiful jabs by Pernell Whitaker. You notice Pernell Whitaker brings his hands right back up. He has to give an illusion to Ramirez that there's no openings, and that will cause hesitation. And Whitaker is also moving from side to side. He's rotating his head, his shoulders. He's never giving a steady target. And once he stays mobile, out comes the jab. This is how you box. Beautiful combination. Whitaker would have dominated every fighter today, from junior welterweight, perhaps even lightweight, to junior middleweight. No question about it, because of what I'm looking at. This is a masterclass performance. If you notice, every time he throws his left, he comes right back with the right hand. That's old school.
It's all Pernell Whitaker. Number 3 in Norfolk, Virginia. Dan Deerdorf, Alex Wallow with you. Pernell Whitaker.
Whitaker never stops throwing punches when his man is in range. If you look at Ramirez, world-class boxer, but he's being outclassed by Pernell Whitaker because of the jab and his movement. Beautiful jabs by Pernell Whitaker. This is what beats your fighter. Nice hook. Now he should be jabbing up and down at this point. This is the second round. Or it should be the third round. So at this point, Ramirez is in desperation mode. So now Whitaker can mix up his punches. He can freely throw the left hand at this point. He must set it up behind the jab and the hooks. Because Ramirez is only now looking for the jab. Beautiful short punches on the inside by Pernell Whitaker. What Whitaker has already established, that if I make you miss, I will make you pay. That is in the mind of Jose Luis Ramirez. Ramirez has over 100 fights. Beautiful combination by Pernell Whitaker. Jab, left hook combination. He is saving his left hand until it's necessary. Now, Pernell Whitaker faced Ramirez early this year. He was robbed in that fight in Paris, France. He broke his left hand. That might have been one of the best things that's happened to him because it controlled his jab. He knows how and when to throw the jab at this point. Because that's what he was using in training to compensate for the weakness of his left hand as it was being healed.
Pernell's just standing right there, but Jose can't hit him. Just enough movement to stay out of trouble.
Oh, beautiful defense by Pernell Whitaker. That comes right back with the jab and a left hand combination, right back with the jab.
George Benton, who ought to know, told Pernell Whitaker in between rounds, Ray Robinson couldn't do it any better than this. Some compliment.
George a little carried away, but
No one's better than Ray Robinson. But what Whitaker's doing right now is a masterpiece. Beautiful. Because what the object is for the fighter like Pernell Whitaker, you have a stick in your belly button and it is attached to the opponent's belly button. Every inch of movement, he should be right in front of you, belly button to belly button, but within arm reach. The only thing Whitaker needs to do is swivel his head and his waistline from side to side. And that's what he's doing. That's what's confusing Jose Luis Ramirez. He's right in front of him, but he's constantly moving something. If it's not his hands, it's his head, it's his hips, it's his shoulders. Beautiful combination thrown by Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Whitaker's a very underrated fighter, underrated champion, one of the greatest of all times, no question about it. Beautiful jab by Pernell Whitaker. Short jabs, long jabs, and mid-range. He's right now shoulder rolling and coming back over the top with the left hand. He comes back with the right hand to the body and back over with the top of the left hand. Beautiful combinations thrown once again by Pernell Whitaker.
Whitaker is much more dominant than Chavez was against Ramirez.
We'd like to alert our ABC stations that at the conclusion of this round that we'll be taking...
Whitaker knows his way around the ring. He understands the time based on foot movement. You must learn the time that you have left on the round based on your foot movement. Every step you take and every movement is a second off the clock. Beautiful combination thrown by Pernell Whitaker. This is what they teach you, old school trainers.
We must say, it does not appear to be a factor in the fight. I mean, you can throw out all those low blows. They aren't helping Jose Luis.
No, but it's there.
Ramirez backs Whitaker up and forces him into some movement.
It's just a question of what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Now, what Ramirez can't handle is the hand speed.
And the angle. And the fact that Pernell moves his head well, moves his upper body well, even when he's standing right there.
Oh, beautiful Philly shell. Then he comes back over with the top, with the left hand and the right. They call it a right drop, left combination. Beautiful jab by Pernell Whitaker. Oh, you give him an L2 rock. Another movement that is old school.
The first 4 rounds being totally dominated by Pernell Whitaker, but we'd really be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Jose Luis Ramirez is also trying to battle through the loss of his best friend, his father figure,
Ramon Felix.
2 weeks ago when Ramon Felix...
Very good trainer was Ramon Felix. He was taken over by another very good Mexican trainer.
You see the black bow on the right hip of Jose Luis Ramirez.
That trainer's name is Buffalo Martin. Oh, beautiful combination once again by Pernell Whitaker. Buffalo Martin would take over the career of Julio Cesar Chavez. Now, once again, Pernell Whitaker pivots. He stays on his right foot, and he just swivels around his opponent. This is why he is generating so much power.
Another low blow, but still. Scoring combinations from Pernell Whitaker.
You saw the heart of Ramirez firing back at the end of that combination. Whatever he has, he's going to give. At this stage, it's just not even close to being enough.
Wild left from Ramirez misses.
A little bit closer, I think, Dan, than some of the early misses. And that's really Ramirez's only hope. This corner told him between rounds.
Oh, beautiful jabs once again.
There you see, there the jab is.
Just eating Whitaker's jabs.
I was in so many Pernell Whitaker sparring sessions and training camps.
To defend himself. Now that's either poor defense or he's not afraid of the jab, one or the other.
Or he doesn't,
And I can tell you, Pernell Whitaker's a master.
Inside the last minute of round number 5.
I was saying the Ramirez corner told their man between rounds really the only hope that they give him, and that is that Whitaker's breathing through his mouth. He's tired. Probably wishful thinking, probably trying to keep their fighter as much in the fight as they can. You see him fighting back. Ooh, inside left by Whitaker.
Pernell Whitaker has thrown both punches so far in this fight.
Now Whitaker right now has his man tamed. He's totally relaxed at this point.
Changes now and getting a little more distance and buying a little more time, Alex. When he breaks, he's turning his back and walking to the other side of the ring.
Carrying his hands a little bit lower when he does move away, too.
But taking a little time off, sign of a smart fighter. This is the end of the 5th round. Gloves to get the 6th round started. No question, a tremendous amount of respect that these two have for one another. Pernell Whitaker has a historical sense of what's happened before him, and certainly in the lightweight division, Jose Luis Ramirez is a figure to be admired and respected.
Yeah, he's earned it.
With this being Whitaker's 20th fight, the thought of fighting another 90 to catch up with Ramirez somehow must seem very foreign to Pernell Whitaker.
They're urging him to snap the jab. That's the way you control a fighter like Jose Luis Ramirez, because he will run you out of the ring if you don't control him. Ramirez is making Whitaker fight, but Whitaker is technically controlling the action.
Closer now, Dan. I mean, maybe we're just kidding ourselves and looking to make this thing competitive, and it isn't. I mean, it's been a total shutout so far through 5 rounds. I mean, if there's any one of these judges who has ended these rounds even for Ramirez, they should lose their license immediately and walk home.
Goodness. Oh, beautiful. Right hand to the body.
Oh, a pair of uppercuts by Whitaker. Neither one of them really landed solidly, but they both got through. Again, we must remind you that even though Whitaker is having target practice with Ramirez
beautiful triple left hook combination. Triple right hook combination, excuse me, by Pernell Whitaker.
I mean, I know Pernell Whitaker, another low blow by Whitaker. I know Pernell Whitaker is wondering, about his own punching power. I mean, here this guy has absorbed enough punches for 3 fights through 5 rounds.
All Whitaker needs is the jab, and that's what he's performing. That's what I advocate all the time in these videos.
Keep in mind, he has been knocked down, but Ramirez has never been knocked out.
Your dominant hand will follow when an opening sees itself. If he gets past the jab, you have to control him with the dominant hand. Otherwise, you consistently jab and hook.
The key for Pernell Whitaker right now is to remain patient. He's winning this.
This is a performance that Ray Robinson would have. February 14th, 1951, Chicago Stadium, with Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull. He would stop LaMotta in 13 rounds. It would be called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
This fight is scheduled for 12. The bell will be the end of round 6.
Not even breathing hard. I mean, as Pernell walks back to the corner, let's listen. It's so beautiful out here.
Man, you're doing it to death. That's perfect. Just keep doing what you're doing. Look, don't get careless. Don't get in no exchange with him. Don't let him suck in. Do just what you're doing, right? That's the best boxing exhibition that I've seen.
Putting a hell of a show on. Robinson couldn't do it good as
They don't believe it.
Ray Robinson couldn't do it as good as this, baby. You're
You
beautiful
just
out there.
don't even worry about knocking the guy out. I like this better. You understand? Look, I don't know what the hell the referee's brave. That's a brave referee. He's letting this guy go. He should have stopped this fight a year ago.
That's all motivation. You don't tell a fighter that Ray Robinson couldn't do it any better. You don't swell his ego. You keep him focused as he has been. That's a low blow, but it was a beautiful execution of a body shot attempt. And he comes back with the crab shell at the end for defense.
George Benton lead the Pernell Whitaker cheering society in the corner, and they're right. They don't have anything constructive to add other than you heard Benton say, "Don't get careless."
The Ramirez corner, the most constructive thing they could come up with was step on his foot, then hit him with your right. Which is an actual bit of strategy that was given to him in the corner.
A lunging combination by Ramirez didn't even come close. That's not going to be a knockdown. He pushed him down. You saw Whitaker's hand on the back of the head of Ramirez. I guess that evens it up. Both fighters have been down on the canvas once, but neither one was a knockdown.
Looking on the junior welterweight champion, according to the IBF World Champion, Taylor, and some people think, oh, you see the reaction. Then Mark Freeman in the picture as well. Members of the class of 1984 Olympians that have produced really some outstanding fighters. A lot of people, along with Evander Holyfield, who's here as well. A lot of people think that Whitaker and Meldrick Taylor would be one of the outstanding matchups that could be made. They're only separated by one weight division. Although I think it'll be a long time before it happens, and I think to make friends as good as those two fight, there'd have to be an awful lot of money on the line.
I couldn't agree more, and what we'll probably see before that would be Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez.
Which is the one that is supposed to happen early next year, and the one that I'm really looking forward to.
I'd like to see that myself.
The other fight that...
Oh, beautiful move by Pernell Whitaker.
Hot dogging a little bit.
Whitaker needs to stay focused, because he will get caught, as he just did. Come back with the jab. And keep that distance.
Pernell Whitaker is a fight with 130-pound champion and one of the top names in boxing.
Ramirez can get you out with either hand, as he did with Edwin Ochapo Rosario.
Inside the final minute of the 7th round. Jose Luis Ramirez just keeps pressing on. The results are the same. He's getting
Whitaker needs to keep the jab and the hook going. Don't worry about the left hand.
much different than he did in the first and the second round.
Didn't land the right hook, as we said earlier.
You touch him with the left, but you concentrate with the jab and the hook.
Well, that's called wanting your cake and
He got caught again. He has to come back with the jab.
wound Ramirez with at least 10 low blows. Backs up
Ramirez is getting a little too close to him.
with the V look on his face.
What are you thinking of, Jose? And he got a warning from the referee to Ramirez.
Rather
Beautiful movement, but he must come back with the jab.
than leg movement to avoid the blows, comes back with combination and scores. In the 7, and nothing's changed.
Whitaker's just too good to go in and land one isolated left hand. He's got to set it up with something if he's going to score a knockout fight.
Is this the time for Whitaker to take a round off?
Well, it depends on how he feels. He can take some time off the clock if he feels himself fading.
Oh, and a good
Now, that was a good left hand.
That was a solid left from Whitaker.
Come right back with the jab. Chest and head. Hook to the body. And then shoot a straight left hand down the pipe. Come right back with the jab.
Up on the his right cheekbone. Isn't close enough to the eye to present a problem. This is more than Pernell Whitaker for the first fight. Getting ground, back in
Ramirez get a little too close to him. He has the jab, come back with the hook. Now you must start dropping the left hand.
Only 5
Left hand can come in play at this point,
fighters, but 90 professional
because Ramirez is not going to tire at all. He was applying the same pressure as he did in the first round.
and right now showing it.
Beautiful hook. That's the snap I like to see. And he keeps his left hand up for the jab of Ramirez, but he must come back with a jab of his own.
No natural.
That will keep your man dizzy. Beautiful. Good jab.
Ramirez jabs are getting in, but they're really not landing with a great deal of authority.
whether that's instinctive defensive action by Whitaker or something he's worked hard
Oh,
to learn in the
nice left hand. Come back with a jab. Excellent execution by Pernell Whitaker.
Whenever his man gets it in range to land that right hook, his left comes right up to
Oh, beautiful combination at the end to score points.
Whitaker comes out of his corner to a standing ovation by the crowd here in Norfolk. He is the franchise of this city. No professional football, no professional basketball, no hockey team. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker is Norfolk, Hampton Roads, Virginia, on the professional scene. This is the 12th and final round.
And Whitaker wants to put on a show before this fight is over.
Lightweight title. And Pernell Whitaker couldn't be in more control.
One of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. He just hurt his right hand with Pernell Whitaker. Ramirez is getting a little too close to him. He has to continue to jab until the bell rings. Ramirez is a hell of a fighter.
Jose Luis Ramirez, you said at the top.
He's the fighters you would see in the 40s and the 50s.
I think he's done that.
And Whitaker wants to do a little dipsy-do right now.
Caught Whitaker with a few punches again.
We all went crazy when he did this move. Shoe shine, double up off the ropes, and he walks out on the side of Ramirez.
Back into the corner with a forearm, but
He has to come back with the jab.
gets out much to the delight of the crowd.
I'm Scrapbookboxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten. On my channel, Jose Luis Ramirez and Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Into this fight.
An outstanding contest. I was in the second row of that fight, and I just wanted to bring this to you. I'll do 2 more videos to include that 100 years of World Championship fights, because I forgot to put the Olympians in there. I'll do Melvin Taylor and Buddy McGirt and Holyfield with Braxton. Salute.
It's all right, I'm in control, I'm all right. So the star of Pernell Whitaker continues to rise. He continues to lay claim, Dan, to his role, to his position as one of the best fighters pound for pound in the world in any division. For Jose Luis Ramirez, this could well be the fight that he decides after the longest career in boxing today to let it go.
Woo!
To say, I've had my time.
This is boxing.
Thank you very much.
The crowd comes to their feet at the Scope in Norfolk. When we come back, we'll have the decision.
I have a pleasure to say that I was at this fight.
From 19
This is legacy.
Sweet Pea.
Shout out to Nick Hammer. Consider him a good friend of mine. Salute.